to the greatest, but I will keep my head up. I'm not a champion anymore, but I will be back stronger. But I'm still a professional athlete, and I've been doing this for half of my life, for 14 years. So definitely, I will keep my head up and take this as a champion, as a former champion.
Entering this fight, there was a lot of emotion. I mean, you've always had an edge, that sort of thing. Do you feel like emotion played any part of tonight, or there was mistakes?
Please don't compare me to Ronda Rousey. I love her so much, and we have very good relationship. But please, let's leave this bullshit away. I never take fights personal, and I'm not emotional. When I'm fighting, everything went so smooth during this camp. It was very long camp. For 13 weeks, I was training with American top team. Just big surprise, and this is what happens. Big congrats to Rose. I'm happy for her, but I will back stronger. It was not personal. This is what happened. The things which happened before the fight have nothing to do with this fight. It was a good punch. She cut me off. I really don't know what happened, but it's the fight, we take this risk.
And I know you'll sure be back in the gym soon, but with this being your first professional loss, do you feel like a rematch is warranted?
I must sit and talk to Dana and the UFC. I think I've been a good athlete and good champion for the UFC. That's it. I think I deserve the rematch. If I will not get the rematch, we'll see, I'm looking forward.
Question. Was there anything that Rose did? She hit you with the left twice. Was there anything she was doing to disguise it that you may be confused or you weren't seeing it coming, that she was able to hit you well with it?
I didn't see this coming, so it was, like I said, it was a very big surprise. She cut me off. She did it perfect, and she won the fight. That's the thing.
Joanna, after the first knockdown, did you ever fully regain, did you get yourself back, or were you kind of out of it the whole time? Because
it looks like I didn't, so probably that's why she cut me off so quick after the first knockdown, so yeah, probably. Thank you so much.
JJ,
yeah.
right here. What's more important now, going up in weight or getting your belt back?
Like I said, I will turn the page and just look forward, Like I said, I'm not a champion, but I'm still professional athlete, I have so many dreams, so many goals, and I'm doing so many things outside the gym and outside the octagon, which I want to be focused on as well. But, I want my belt back, and that's the thing. It's probably going to be the biggest goal right now, to get my belt back, because shit happens everywhere. So it was a mistake. It was a big surprise. I cannot say it was a lucky punch. She had maybe very good game plan for this. She cut me off. That's it. But this night was crazy. It was really pleasure for me to fight at the Garden, be back to New York City, fight at UFC 217. It was not a lucky night for me, Cody, and Michael, but we are professional athletes. We moving forward. We moving forward.
What was your surprise that you said that you had for us earlier during the fight week?
Say again?
The surprise, you said you had some aces up your sleeve. What was your surprise that you had for us that you said you were going to tell us after the fight?
I wanted to move up. But only for one fight. I wanted to be the first in line for the tough finalist. But the thing is, like, I wanted to defend my title in the strawweight and the flyweight division. But definitely, I'm kind of hard person. And definitely, I want this title back. So first fight will be in the strawweight division.
Right here, Joanna. Here.
Hi.
Normally, when a fighter gets stopped, they don't have to come to the press conference. And why did you feel that you had to do this?
because you deserve that, you know. We cannot be only when there is a good time, you know. I will keep my head up. I am a professional athlete, and I am professional.
You are. What's kind of the plan for you, I guess, in the next few weeks? Are you going to return to Poland?
Oh man, my I will have some holiday with my family. I fly back home. I was pretty busy for last year, so I will fly home to Poland, just hang out with my parents, my family, and we will see. I have so many things going on. I work with WME, IMG, with Brad Slater. It's a pleasure for me. We have so many things going on. I have my manager in Poland. We have so many plans. You know, I will just, like I said, I just lost the title. I lost the belt. Okay, I you know, maybe I'm crying now, but I'm not gonna cry. Like I said, I will turn the page and I will be back stronger. It's not gonna change me as an athlete or as a person, you know.
You were just saying there as well, you know, you've had an amazing amount of media to do before the fight, ever increasing. Is that getting to a stage now where it's a bit uncomfortable? Would you rather just focus on your fighting, or
Please don't blame UFC or the PR people, because the old people from the UFC, they've been great. I did only 2 appearances. Like I went to Action Bronson, which took like 2 hours maybe. I went to Kelly and Ryan, which took like 30 minutes of my fight week, you know. This fight week was pretty easy, so please don't blame, don't put this on the UFC, because it was easy. It was mistake at work, and it was very big surprise. That's it. I've been training very hard for this fight, and it's a big surprise for me, for my coaches. Mikey Brown is here today. Today is November 5th. Congrats, Mikey Brown, on winning the WEC belt 9 years ago. 9 years ago. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Rose, it
Hi.
seemed like you were still a little bit in shock when you were in the cage, kind of letting it sink in. I know it hasn't been that long, but Has it sunk in a little bit? And what is the emotion for you at this moment?
Just gratitude. Yeah, it's been a rough week up until, the fight started. It was just seemed like everything was, trying to distract me and be thrown in my face and just, but everything I just kept listening to my coaches and just trusting them, trusting myself, and, I got the job done.
We talk about being a rough week. Was it just like the way she was acting towards you all week and the way things are playing, or were there other things happening as well?
Yeah, that was part of it, but just, getting my flight delayed and, just little things here and there, all the sirens outside, not being able to sleep very well, just not playing my walkout song, just everything that, you're thinking like, this is not my moment, but, I just didn't pay attention to that, didn't let it stop me.
We didn't know until just recently they played the wrong walkout song for you. So
Yeah.
What's that like? I mean, all these things are going wrong, or is there one last minute of self-doubt? Like, what else?
Yeah, I mean, I've been, the one thing that that kept me calm was, like, I've been in situations like this where I felt like, things wasn't running smooth, and I've learned from those. So, I just kept telling myself to stay calm and, just don't pay attention to these outside things that I can't control. All I can control is myself, and just keep having a positive attitude.
Once you got in there, the performance was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you said that you thought you'd get the finish and all that, but I mean, did you ever see going in there and dominating her on the feet the way you did?
I had a feeling that I was going to knock her out in the third round. So for it to happen in the first is great, Especially it's kind of a weird coincidence, but it happened at 3 minutes and 3 seconds, which is our gym name and our area code of, Denver, which, I can't wait to get back to. So it just, I don't know, man. Just, it's amazing.
And last thing for me, Rose, I'm
Yeah.
sure you'll want to enjoy the moment, but we always ask the champions, what do they want next? So, I mean, do you think about what comes after this? Does a rematch with her entice you to make sure that, everybody knows it wasn't a fluke? Do you see other top contenders? What do you think does come next?
Just taking some time off and just one day at a time, This is definitely a huge kind of change of pace, or I guess a new chapter in my life. So just kind of had to assess things, talk with my coaches and stuff like that. As far as a rematch, I think Joanna herself might need some time off as well.
A question here, Joanna. Congratulations on the belt, first
Thank
and
you.
foremost. After the fight, you said to Joe Rogan, this belt doesn't mean anything, be a good person.
Yeah.
So now that you're a champion and you can reach a greater audience,
Yeah.
how do you want to get that message through?
Well, for one, I think that mixed martial arts has been, there's just been a lot of trash talking and things like that, and just people that I feel like, aren't really being true to themselves or being honest, and I don't know, maybe that's just, what they feel they need to do and to entertain things, but I'm just kind of sick of it. I'm sick of all the hate and, anger and stuff like that going into, I feel like we have a duty as, fighters to try and be a better example. Martial arts is about honor and respect, it takes a lot of courage to get in that cage and, no matter who you are. So, I just want to try and set an example in that way. And then, just the rest of the world too. I think that there's a lot of, negativity out there. Everywhere you look is just negative all the time. And I'm just trying to be that positive light as much as possible. I mean, I'm not perfect either, but maybe this will, we'll figure out a way to make this world a better place.
And can you tell us how Pat Barry's reaction was backstage and how is he feeling right now?
He's definitely probably feeling very similar to myself. Just, I don't know. It's hard to describe. Kind of numb to everything, actually.
Quick question for you. The punch that knocked Joanna down,
Yeah.
you had a shifting left. You jumped out to the side a little bit on the left. Was that something you'd been looking for that whole fight, or was it just in the moment?
I saw it in the moment in the fight. I actually thought it was going to be my right hand that was going to get her, because that's just been landing in practice a lot. But, you know, we've been working that leading left hook a lot with, you know, Trevor Whitman has been elevating my boxing game like exponentially. So, you know, that's been something that has been in the works for a long time. And, you know, maybe we'll see my right hand later on.
Over here. Rose.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a week for you, obviously, from the press conference on. Fill in the blank right now. Rose is feeling what? Are you, do you want to say screw you to the doubters out there? Do you feel relieved? Do you feel stoked? Like, Rose is blank right now.
Rose is grateful. And Rose is content. Actually, what I said in my mantra that I kept saying all week was confidence, condition, composure, content. I'm a champion. And that's what I said in the fight. Once I knocked her down once, and then kind of just was like, my emotions were starting to get riled up a little bit, and I just did my mantra to calm me down and waited for the right opportunity.
Hi, Rose. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I wonder how much the experience you had of being in a title fight before helped you in this one. I mean, did you draw anything from the last experience?
Yeah, for sure. You know, my first title fight, I kind of felt like similar, you know, walking to the cage where I couldn't see where I was going. And there's just a lot of chaos going on around me, lots of distractions, lots of things to pull away my focus. And, you know, I even almost like tripped on the way to the stage, and it got to me, you know. And this time I just related back to that experience and was like, you know, I can just breathe and I can counter this by just staying calm and not worrying about it.
And from your standpoint, you know, do you draw anything? You were quiet and Joanna talked. You know, Michael Bisping was talking. GSP wasn't. Cody and TJ, you know, didn't do so much. Do you think that the three people that kind of just remained quiet and did in the background, do you take anything from that, and does that have any significance?
You know, I've said before, leading up to this fight, that I feel like it's, you know, a time for a new era in this, you know, sport. I think we have a great opportunity as fighters and athletes to be good role models, you know. Like I said, I'm by no means perfect, you know, but I think we could try. And yeah, it's just hard, you know. Like I used to fight with hate, and sometimes, you know, there's been a lot of aggression in my past growing up and stuff. But that's just because I was hurt, you know, myself. And so I learned that love is such a more sustainable energy to draw from than hate.
Can you elaborate on that, Rose? Because I know we were talking before about the volatility that you've experienced in your life, and here you are facing this undefeated, unbeatable perhaps fighter. How did you use your past to basically overcome the Joanna challenge?
I mean, I've had a lot of nightmares and dreams of just old, you know, memories haunting me and stuff. And she was just kind of, you know, I don't take it personally against her, you know. I think it's just, she was just a personification. Like, that's why I kept saying, like, it's just me that I'm fighting against, you know. All the stuff all the negativity that I felt coming from her, it just reminded me of where I came from, you know. And, you know, I wasn't going to let that shut me down, you know. And that's why, you know, she's a, you know, awesome fighter and stuff, but I've dealt with a lot worse in my life. Yeah.
How you doing, Rose?
Hey.
I only have one quick question. Can you tell us what Pat told you in your ear before you stepped into the octagon?
Yeah, every time he tells me something, like that moment, he always says something super like beautiful and poetic, but I just can never remember it because I'm so in the moment. Yeah, my bad. You can ask him if he remember, but he don't remember either.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, all you gotta do is just be you. Yeah, that's usually
Thank you,
that's
Pat.
a good line. Yeah.
Rose, you were very open before the fight about your mental health difficulties, which is difficult for anyone to do, let alone someone who's in the public eye.
Yeah.
Why was it important for you to bring that out into the open? Was it for you doing
Yeah.
that, or was it to help other people? Or both?
I was, you know, I've mentioned that it's a history of it in my family, and so that's something that I didn't have my dad in my life because of it, and you know, he has schizophrenia, and yeah, it's just something that I've only had my mom and my brother in the States, you know, other than like a few distant relatives, but all my family's in Lithuania, and you know, it's been a hard life, you know, a hard road coming up since I was little, and it's just something that, you know, I guess I'm really grateful for this opportunity to kind of like overcome this, and you know, I'm kind of grateful that Joanna's tried to poke at that, because now I was able to look into it and read books on it and kind of study, really trying to understand what mental illness is. And I realized that we're all pretty normal. We're all kind of the same. We all got our issues, but you know, it's something that we can get stronger at. It's, you know, just like your mind is just like your body, you know, it's a muscle that you can train and you can get better at. Yeah, thank you guys.
All right. The gate tonight was 6.2 million. The attendance was 18,201. Performance of the night, Rose, Dillashaw, GSP. And there were so many, I actually gave OSP 25 and Ramos 25. So we gave another bonus and just cut it in half and gave it to those two guys, because what do you do, right? I mean, it was an incredible night, and they deserve it.
Is that the greatest night of fights that
Holy
you've
shit.
promoted?
So I always say that this sport is all about holy shit moments. This was the holy shit card. It was, I mean, every time I would get up to walk over to the octagon, the whole row behind me was going, holy shit, or wow, or, you know, it's no matter how much of an expert you are or you think you are, the sport's crazy. You never know.
And I wonder, first of all, your thoughts on what Rose did. I mean, you know, Joanna was in her face all week and yapping at her, and, you know, not a lot of people gave her credit, you know, talking about Joanna maybe being the greatest women's fighter ever.
Right.
And she stood up to the face of that. You know, did that impress you as much as just the performance in the cage?
Yeah, I mean, she really had it together. She seems super focused, and you don't see a lot of women's fights where there's just one punch and the woman drops. You don't see that kind of power, especially against somebody that's as good as Joanna is. That was definitely the biggest holy shit moment of the night.
And then lastly, what do you think it means to have GSP back on top? I mean, he was such a popular champion before, and a lot has been made about some of your biggest stars like Ronda and Conor haven't been fighting. To have a guy like GSP that in the past had been money for you, having him as a champion, what do you think that means?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great to have GSP back, and you know, he came in after a 4-year layoff and fought a tough fight tonight. You know, people think Bisping's easy. Show me one easy fight Bisping's been in that you know, you just go in and walk over Bisping. You don't do it. And GSP looked real good tonight, man.
With George back, I mean, he's obviously such a huge star in Canada. I mean, is there a possibility that you would look at another Skydome show or you know, a big show in Montreal with him as a headliner?
Yeah, it would obviously make sense to go back to Montreal with him. You know, we're pretty sure that tonight, you know, I told some of you guys this yesterday, but Mayweather, McGregor had the record there in Canada, and we were number 2 and 3 or something like that. We're pretty sure that this beat Mayweather-McGregor in Canada tonight. I told some of you yesterday that this would do $1 million. I was way wrong. It did over $1 million.
Do you have any sense of sort of the specifics of that?
You got to wait. I'll have a definite answer tomorrow, but it's looking like we destroyed it.
And I mean, when this fight was announced, I mean, you guys did come in from a fair bit of criticism, and it clearly has paid off for you guys. I mean, were you always confident that this was going to deliver?
That what was going to deliver?
That just this fight was going to deliver.
Yeah, every time there's something about Madison Square Garden, first of all. I mean, both times that we've been here, it's been awesome. But, when you put together a card, like the card we put together, you can't always guarantee. When you look at fights on paper, you're like, that's awesome, that's awesome. You can't guarantee it, but, man, this one delivered, It's just such a good card with so many good fights that even if you have 3 deliver in a big way, it's a good night. But to have the entire card deliver the way that this card delivered tonight, it's awesome. When this happens and comes together, it's fun.
And then have you spoken with Demetrius Johnson? I mean, is he more open to a fight with TJ now?
I haven't, but he should be. I mean, he's been crying for a long time for a big fight. He's got his big fight now. I'm down for it because I wanted to do it before, but now it's even better because they both have belts. So, yeah.
Quick question. Hi. I know you and hyperbole go together great. Best card ever?
It's one of the best ever. To sit here tonight after just watching this card and say, well, yeah, it's probably the best card I've ever seen. But if you really think back to all the cards that we've done over the last, 15 years, we've had some pretty badass cards. I could count on one hand how many shitty cards we've had. You know what I mean? So to call it the best ever, that's tough. But it was one of the best ever, if not the best ever.
And one last question. What were your thoughts on the 2 fights where the State Athletic Commission had to jump in, the Walt Harris DQ, and then the other fight where he ended up winning by TKO when we originally thought it might be another DQ?
Yeah, they had a weird night. It was, I like that they're using instant replay. I think we should use instant replay. Every other sport does it, and it works great in those sports. But it's weird when you look on instant replay and then still call it a DQ. Did anybody else think that should have been a DQ? He hit his ear. I was talking about the kick to the ear. Yeah. Yeah. But that's why you use instant replay. You see, he grazed his ear, He threw an illegal kick, but it didn't really land to do any damage to the fighter. How about Walt Harris? Walt Harris, what? DQ? Yeah, I don't remember.
Dana over here.
Yeah.
What do you think about Tyron blowing up your Twitter timeline all through in the GSP Bisping fight? Do you think he's going to get that big fight he wants?
What did Tyron do?
He was blowing up your Twitter timeline with saying he could beat either one of them or Whitaker.
Yeah, it's going to be Whitaker.
Do you have an early time frame?
No. I don't even know what's going on with GSP. He was transported to the hospital, so he's got to get stitches in his nose. He if he doesn't take Bisping down and keeps it standing, he comes out of that fight with almost no damage. Bisping did some serious work from his back, split his nose open, had him blood all over his face, and he took some big shots from the top position. And if he didn't do that, he probably would have come out pretty much unscathed. But he's got to go to the hospital right now. So we'll see how he is. I don't know what the status is with him.
And had Joanna won tonight, when she got that first shot at the 125 after the tough finale?
Say that again?
Had Joanna won tonight, when she got the first shot of the winner, whoever gets the 125 belt?
I don't know what her plans were. I don't know what she was. But yeah, I mean, if she won tonight, pretty much let her do whatever the hell she wants to do.
So is Ronda still the GOAT in your opinion for women's MMA?
Yeah, Ronda's got the record. It's tough to deny the record.
Right here, Daniel.
What about the what? That's not true. That Paige is getting the title fight at 100. Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. I love Paige and everything, but no, that's not true.
I think you gave a quote before you got here that GSP and Whitaker is a done deal. But when you say that, you're just saying that's the plan. It's not that it's signed, not that there's a date picked, but that's definitely going to be the fight.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And, you mentioned with Dillashaw saying you wanted to go down. I know you wanted to do that fight before, but, are you 100% comfortable? Because the guy at weigh-ins, he was under, but, he didn't look like he had a lot of weight to lose. I think people were a little scared. are we sure he can make 125 pounds? Do you feel confident enough to say no problem?
It's not up to me to feel confident about it. It's him. Does he feel confident he can make that weight? And, he was very confident when I talked to him that he could do it.
Nice. And last thing for me, at the press conference, this was obviously a blockbuster event tonight, but you said that the UFC was trending to have its best year ever, and a lot of people were like, wait a minute, every indication is that pay-per-view sales are down and not trending.
Whose indications of that? People that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I mean? If you don't know what's going on in our business, how can you speculate that we're having a bad year? This is the best year by a long shot in the company's history. Boom. Ronda didn't fight. Conor really didn't fight in MMA. John Jones fought once. And, Anderson Silva, Chuck Liddell, the list goes on and on and on. The business is kicking ass. Best year ever by a long shot. Yes. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. It's counting all the money that we made in the last 12 months. Can't take that out. It happened. And if that didn't happen, Conor would have fought twice this year. Yeah, you can't take it out. Who cares about the boxing match? It's revenue that the company made that we spent 4 months of our resources promoting.
Dana.
Yep.
Right here.
Yep.
Demetrius Johnson has said previously that he wants to take super fights, but he also wants to get paid. At least he said previously a couple of millions, or at least a pay raise. Are you willing to give him that?
No, you know what? He's a partner in the pay-per-view. Let's see what your pay-per-view does. You're a partner, and see what you make. Listen, you can't be in a position where you're like, I want $2 million. Fuck you. I don't care what you make. I don't care how much this thing sells. I just want $2 million because I want $2 million. Don't you want $2 million? Do you want $2 million?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Of course you do. Go tell your fucking boss you want $2 million. You don't give a shit what it cost him.
Yeah.
See what he says.
That would be hard, I think.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Dana, you've been right here. You've obviously been promoting the sport for a long time, followed boxing and stuff. Have you ever seen anyone accomplish what George accomplished tonight in terms of taking the time off that he did, returning to fight in a championship fight? And then
No, even Ali didn't look the same after a 3-year layoff. He was still a great fighter, but he didn't look the same as he did before the layoff. And very few people have come back from long layoffs and not only come back and won, in their own division, but to move up to 185 pounds and fight in that division it's tough to do.
Yeah, and typically in terms of Joanna, when a dominant champion like that goes on such a long run, you give them the option of having an immediate rematch. Do you feel like that's probably the next move in terms of the 115 division? I'm
sorry, Joanna to do what?
Do you think she deserves an immediate rematch considering what she did during her title reign?
It depends. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I can't even think about that yet. Obviously, tonight, there's probably a lot of rematches you can make after tonight, but we'll see. I got to get back and figure things out and see where everybody's head's at and what they want to do. And
I guess this is kind of in that same light, but I know you guys just announced a show in London for March. Do you think Michael Bisping said he wants to fight in the UK one more time before he retires? Is it kind of a perfect fit that he may headline that show and kind of go out on
again, depending on how he's feeling. He got pretty busted up tonight. Hey, Lance.
Hey, there was a lot of talk about that the talkers all lost tonight. All the champion talkers lost, and all the people who kept quiet won. You need your fighters to talk. What do you make of that disparity?
I don't need anybody to talk. It's like Pat said to Rose tonight, you be you. We don't need people to talk. We don't need... You can be a mute going into these fights. If you have fights like we have tonight, that's what people are showing up to see. People don't come to these fights for talk. They come here for the fights. And when they fight like they fought tonight, it's incredible. This place was buzzing tonight. I mean, even you guys. How many fights have you guys sat through in your life? Tonight was crazy. Crazy. But thank you guys. Have a great night, and I'll see you at the next one.
How are you guys doing tonight?
I guess I'm up for. You got caught a couple times. You caught him as well. It looked like you were the faster opponent, but what was he doing where he was able to connect a couple times on you that you weren't able to move out of the way on? Because otherwise, you were looking really quick out there.
I am the better fighter out there. You know, he was able to capitalize on a low left hand, a right hook. Hats off to TJ. You know, he battled back, from losing his title, and he was a hungry man. But I still am the better fighter in there, and I'll show that in the rematch.
How did you think the fight was playing? I mean, you were having some success early on. What was your feeling like in there?
How I pictured the fight going, landing that wheel faster. He was missing a lot. Really didn't touch me in the first round. You know, he didn't take me down at all. I caught him a couple of times. You know, he was hurting the fight. Towards the end of the first round, I knew that I had him hurt. I heard the 10-second clapper. Kind of my feet got a little tangled up trying to deliver that knockout blow. So he was saved by the bell. He was able to regain composure in that minute of that grace period. And I was just a little hesitant coming out the second. I was looking for some shots. I saw a lot of openings. I was making him miss a ton, and I just needed to capitalize on his mistakes, and he was able to tonight. But hey, like I said, hats off to him.
I think a lot was made this week of just how emotional you were, how fired up you were. Now, we know this has been a long-standing rivalry, but, I mean, did emotion play any part tonight in how you performed? Any regrets in, maybe coming in with that type of emotion into a fight?
No, I stand behind everything that I said. Still a date about TJ, but I give him his respects for going out there and capitalizing on a mistake. But I truly am the better fighter, and I want that rematch. I'm willing to put in the work and do whatever it takes to get my title back. This is something that I was born to do. This is my passion. This is my love, and I'll do whatever it takes to climb back on that mountain.
And last thing for me, it sounds like he wants to go down to 125 right away and challenge for that title. So where does that leave you? I mean, do you feel like you'd fight again to prove you're the -- 1 contender? Do you feel like, you'd sit around and wait for him and wait for that rematch? What do you think the right next move is for you if he goes to 125?
I had nearly a year layoff, and that was the most trying period of my time to be able to come back and battle through injury and stay healthy and injury-free this whole entire camp. I just want to give a huge thanks to my coaches and my teammates at Team Alpha Male for sticking behind me, always supporting me, get me the best prepared that I can for November 4th, through everything that we've been through in the past year. We was able to go from unranked to world champion the same year, and then, then we got hurt, we got injured. But they stuck beside me. They believed in me. They showed me support and love, and I'll be forever grateful for that. This is going to be a learning experience for me. I have to have a short memory in this game, win or lose, and that's it. I'm excited to, get back on, that hard work. I'm never fearful of losing. I'll go out there and live and die by the sword, and I'm willing to put the work in that needs to be to, obtain the goal that I set out to do. I'm not gonna, die with dreams. I'm gonna die with memories. This isn't gonna stop me from chasing a dream that I really saved my life since a young child was what I wanted to be as a world champion. And I've been here before. I've lost a lot in my life, and I feel like if this is the worst thing that happens in my life, then I live a really good life. I have so many blessings coming to me. My wife is, carrying our unborn child. We're expecting in March, so super thankful and happy for that. I can't wait to hold the little guy. And, I have my book coming out, The Pact. I hope that, can go around the world and just motivate and inspire, and people, from me and Maddox's story. And this is it, where I come from, it's about dreaming, holding on to a dream no matter what. I'm just forever grateful to have my health. I'm healthy, I'm not hurt, and I'll bounce back from this. This is just a learning experience for myself.
Hey, Cody, over here. Again, it was, it's a good fight. First round, you got, you seemed confident. You kind of had a little swag going. It wasn't as much as a Dominic Cruz. Did you give TJ a lot of the benefit of he's dangerous?
Training with TJ, that he's a competitor. That he has great skill. I've always, respected his skills leading up to the fight. I don't respect him as a person, but as a fighter, I give him respect in there. And then after, win, lose, or draw, I'm always going to give my adversary respect. and he caught me with a clean shot and capitalized on a technical error that I did. But I felt good the first round. Like I said, I'm the better fighter in there, and I like to run it back. But that's up to UFC, Dana White, Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard. I know the fans would love to see that. I truly believe I'm the best in the world, and I can't wait to go out and show that.
And you did talk about the injury, your back. How'd that feel going into the fight? Was it you 100%?
Not one to make excuses. Like I said, it was a long, hard road to get back to here. Training was rough. I had to adjust on the fly a lot. I had a lot of procedures. I was flown to Vegas, about a month before the fight, and had to do some more shots. But hey, I'm not gonna make excuses. Like I said, I'm thankful I'm healthy. It was a long road to get back to here. This is my this is my passion. This is what I love to do, and it's gonna be a learning experience for me. But I'm just thankful to be here, have health, have my teammates, my family, and I'll be back.
Cody, I'm curious, what did TJ say to you right after the stoppage when he got in your face, and how conscious were you in the situation to be able to hear what he said?
I was conscious, man. My arm got trapped. Yeah, I was hurt. Put me the fuck to sleep, That's what I wanted to do, go out in my shield, have my cornerman carry me back. But like I said, hats off to him. I don't know, he just probably yelled some shit. He had a lot of shit he was carrying on, without all the drama, and I stand behind everything that I said. He's still not a good person, but I respect him as a fighter, and that's that.
I spoke to you at the press conference, and I asked you if you thought the fact that you were both of you were so familiar with each other, if that would be detrimental. Now, looking at it now, do you think that played a factor? Do you think it was emotions? Do you think, did you make a mistake? Like, how would you sum up the fight? Like, what happened from your standpoint?
I got caught. Simple as that. My left hand was down. That was a technical error by myself. TJ capitalized on it, I was feeling great. I was feeling great. The first round almost had him out. He was saved by the bell, He's missed. He was swinging at air. He couldn't take me down. He got caught. This game is crazy what we do. I'll live and die by that. I swear I'll go out. If I have to get carried back on my shield, I'm willing to go out there and not only fight for a better life, but go out there and show all my hard work and skills, and not only my sacrifice and dedication, but my teammates and coaches and family and fan support. I'm always going to go out there and fight. This isn't going to deter me from anything. Me and TJ training together had nothing to do with anything. He just capitalized on a technical error. You saw the first round. You saw him missing. You saw me faster. Saw me hitting, landing. I truly am the better fighter, and I'll show that in the rematch. But whatever they want to do, if I have to, fight and wipe out the whole fucking division, I will. There's a lot of people that were calling me out when I'm the champion just because I have a little setback. I'm still here. I'm still hungry. I'm still gonna. This is a learning experience. I've learned so much more in my life from the losses than the wins. I've been here before.
Coming off of that, you keep saying that you're the better fighter. Do you think, are you mad at yourself then for this result or for your performance, or was he the better fighter tonight?
He caught me tonight.
Okay.
He caught me with the punch. I truly am the better fighter. It was me versus me in there. I'm battling with myself to throw more punches to counter to see it. I saw all these openings and I just didn't pull the trigger. It's always me versus me. The only person that beat me is me, and I wasn't. I didn't throw my hands and didn't do what I was supposed to do and know how to do in there. No excuses on my end, and hats off to TJ.
Were you surprised at all by the fact that this is New York and it was a very pro Cody Garbrandt crowd, very, very much booing TJ, was cheering you, almost like it was a California crowd at that point? Did that surprise you at all? Or did you not even notice it?
Yeah, I didn't really notice it. I just was ready to, throw some leather and exchange some trades with TJ and go in there and have a fisticuff. I was ready for a phone booth fight. That's why I told TJ I'd stay in the middle and fight. Let's throw these things. Let's finish this. Let's settle the score, and let's put on an entertaining fight. That's what I want to do in each and every outing, is go out there and be remembered for a warrior that leaves it all in the octagon. For my whole entire career.
Cody,
You've been quite gracious towards TJ in certain parts of the statements you made post-fight, and you shook his hand afterwards, and I saw that you posted a complimentary tweet towards him. The next time you face him, is there a chance that it'll be more of a professional rivalry than a personal rivalry?
I don't see how this wasn't professional. I think I was being professional, given the facts behind it. Still, I think he's a piece of shit teammate. He's not. I stand beside my facts. He injured. He lies still. It doesn't matter. Yeah, he won. Good for him. I'll be back, and I'm going to come with vengeance, and that belt's going to be mine.
TJ, congratulations! Obviously, a big win for you tonight. Not an easy one. You got rocked a little bit in the first. I mean, can you talk about just how the fight was playing out and how hurt you were at the end of the first round?
Yeah, man. I conditioned my chin. He's fast. He was ready for those leg kicks coming in, and every time I was setting up my kicks, he's avoiding them. I almost did too much setting up. They knew what I was doing. Had to change that up in the second. And because of how good a shape I am, I was able to bounce right back from that right hand. I knew he had a dangerous right hand, and came back in and cleared out the cobwebs a little bit.
In the second is when he kind of started doing his talking and dancing and showboating a little bit. I mean, did that change things for you? Did it change your strategy? Did it change your emotion when you started kind of taunting a little bit?
No, man. I tried to stay as level-headed as I possibly could this fight. I knew that the game plan was try to get me emotional, try to get me to fight out of my technique, and try to catch me coming in. He's a counter fighter. He's fast, and he likes to counter. So I didn't want to play his game, And so by me being aggressive, I'm an aggressive fighter. That's the way I fight. I fight very aggressively, and they were looking to take advantage of that. So that's why I tried staying long in the beginning. I wasn't committing fully to my kicks because I was trying to stay long, trying to stay outside of his power. But eventually, the second round, I had to say, screw it and go for it,
Afterwards, you made it clear you want Demetrius Johnson, you want to go get that flyweight title.
Mm-hmm.
Just curious, I mean, you'd been talking, wanting that fight before, but, I mean, you look in incredible shape when you weigh in at 135 pounds. So, I mean, what would it realistically take for you to get down to the flyweight limit? I mean, how much time would you need? Are we talking lifestyle change? I mean, how realistic is this?
So the reason why I look so lean at 35 is because the way I work. I put muscle on to be on 35. So I'm not a big 35-pounder. I walk around at 150, but I stack on and I stay lean. I keep my diet. I kept my diet up through since the Ultimate Fighter, and so I've been on this new diet. I've been with a new strength and conditioning coach, and he keeps the muscle on me because that's what I need. And now when I go 25s, we're gonna have to lean that down. It is a lifestyle change, But right now I'm having a baby on December 28th, which I'm super pumped on. So now my wife's got a fight camp that I got to get her ready for. She's been supporting me, so it's my time to support her.
Quick question. Were you at all, I don't know if you noticed it, but were you at all surprised by kind of how pro Cody Garbrandt and how the crowd was booing you a lot? Was that surprising at all, given that it's not California, it was all the way across the country?
I was portrayed as a bad guy this entire time, and I'm not one of the ones that's gonna be boisterous and talk shit back and try to badmouth their name, I tried to hold my chin high and I defended myself, I feel like I stuck up for myself, but I wasn't going out there to try to be, crazy and talk trash, So I was easily turned into the bad guy from the show and then everything else that they were trying to do to get under my skin.
And what you ended up catching him with, was that, again, something that you were looking for, or just in the heat of the moment?
That one was in the heat of the moment. The left kick, we know he holds his right hand low already anyways. It's something he actually holds both his hands very low all the time. He throws really fast hooks. And so the plan was to kick his leg, kick his body, kick his leg, kick his body, bring everything down, bring his hands down even lower than they already were, which set up the left kick. And then from there, I kind of went on autopilot and, just look for the punches on the go, and when it landed.
TJ, in the lead up to the fight, there was a lot of talk about knockouts in training, or knockdowns in training, whatever you want to call it. But under the lights, you were the guy that got it done. How does that make you feel?
yeah, I don't have to bring out some crazy footage of a gym war, you know. If he would have kept playing it, he would have shown, like he got called out on Rogan's podcast about me getting back up and yelling at him and continuing to fight, you know. But again, that's another thing to try to get under your skin. It was perfect timing, you know, the night before the fight. So it's those mental warfares. And by me losing to Cruz, which I don't think I lost anyways, but by taking that loss, I learned something from it. I fought too emotional. That fight wouldn't have been even close if I would have kept my cool, how I almost finished him in the 4th and 5th round. And so I learned from that. You know, I learned, you even see in my next 2 fights after fighting Cruz, you know, I wasn't as aggressive. I took my time, you know, and so I had to learn from that mistake. And that's what helped me get through all the bull crap of this fight camp.
Hey, TJ, to your right.
Oh, cool.
Hey, man. Obviously, it must be satisfying enough getting the win and winning the belt, but is it a little bit more satisfying when a victory comes against someone who's had a lot to say about you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I was practicing to be tough. I wasn't talking to be tough. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to build my confidence up by talking trash. I put my nose to the ground and worked hard, worked really hard for a long time, and it paid off. You know, I mean, you do good, you train hard, good things will happen.
TJ, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
When you got tagged at the end of the first round and went to the corner, first of all, what did your corner say to you?
Dwayne was telling me I was setting my kicks up too much. You know, they were expecting it. When I was throwing something, he was backing out. He was already kind of a step ahead, like knew that I was setting it up for a reason, you know. And so just to fire him off without setting him up, you know, catch him off guard. You know, if you're able to switch your rhythm up in a fight, especially from round to round, and be a new fighter, that's going to mess someone up. And so that's what happened.
I know you've been talking about wanting to go fight Mighty Mouse. Cody spent a lot of time up there talking about how he wants a rematch. Are you willing to give it to him?
I just finished him in the 2nd round. He doesn't deserve a rematch. You know, he's very new in this sport. He needs to work his way back up. You know, I should have got a rematch after that Cruz fight. You know, very close split decision that I thought I won, and I did not get it. It took me a year and a half. Well, actually, almost 2 years to get it. You know, so yeah, I think he's gonna have to definitely build himself back up.
Congrats, TJ.
Appreciate
What was it like to be part of this show? I'm sure in the back you saw some of those crazy knockouts and, you know, first time ever 3 title fights, you know, change hands.
Yeah.
To be part of this, what was it like for you?
Oh, it was awesome. Just to even like tell yourself you're fighting at Madison Square Garden, you know, that's a treat in its own. You know, you're coming to a very historical arena, and then to have a historical night like we did tonight and be part of it. I mean, that's always going to be remembered, you know. And I get to look back on this when my career's all done and said and be like, damn, that was awesome, you know.
You know, they were chanting, I don't know if you could hear "fuck you, TJ" at one point.
I did hear it.
Necessarily
Yeah.
say that,
Yeah.
but did that shock you? Did you hear that?
No, I guess it didn't shock me because of I've had to build up some tough skin this camp. You know, I've definitely had to build up some tough skin. I was the villain. I was the heel. You know, and so that's just something you got to roll with. You know, you can't get emotional. Like I said, it's something that I had to learn. You know, I'm fortunate, but it is what it is.
And then I wonder, you know, you said Dwayne gave you instructions in the corner right there. Yeah, you know, I watched when you walked back and you kind of wobbled to the corner.
When I first stood up, yeah.
Yeah, how quickly did your head clear? Because it seemed, I wonder, like, is he even going to be able to hear what Dwayne said and just spend the time allowing you to recuperate?
No, it cleared up as soon as I shot in on that single leg. You know, I mean, it was like I went for a push kick. I remember that, and I came to follow it up, and that's when he hit me with it's like a short shovel punch he throws all the time. You know, and I remember like a quick hitting my butt and then being on a single leg. So I was all there for that. It's one of those things that you can condition your chin. If you're in good enough shape, you keep that oxygen to your brain, you're going to keep going.
Start of the match, you know, a little slow. Then Cody starts landing stuff. 30 more seconds in the first round. God knows what can happen. What are you telling yourself after the first round, or coaches or whatnot? What are you telling yourself in order to bounce back as you did in the second round?
I'm listening to the information given to me. You know, they're the ones that see from the outside in. That's why you have cornermen, you know. And so keep your composure, get in there, and, you know, listen to them.
Were you rattled at all, or?
Oh, like I said, I stood up. My foot didn't want to be under me right away, you know. But it wasn't. I was not like mentally rattled, I guess, you know. Those are things you learn to deal with. You know, you got to push through those things.
Right here, TJ. Cody said that he respects you as an athlete and as a fighter, but that he still feels the same way towards you as a person.
Yeah.
How about yourself? How do you feel about Cody right now?
I mean,
Has
like
anything changed?
I respect him as a fighter as well. You know, I mean, I do not appreciate. I mean, me or my family. You know, as you can see, my brother got very emotional after the fight. Have not appreciated the accusations and just the crap talk and trying to diminish my name and who I am. You know, so. You know, that's one that I won't ever forgive him for, you know. But I do respect him for being a great competitor, and I'm sure we'll see him again. But, yeah, he's lost a lot of my respect. He lost all the respect from my family.
TJ, congratulations again on a great fight.
Appreciate it.
So what's bigger to you, winning this belt or getting the belt back or beating Cody?
Getting the belt back. I said that from the beginning. This is professional for me. If I was going to get into it, like you're saying, and being pumped about beating Cody, then I would have fought emotional. I would have been angry about fighting him. So kept it as a professional level and knew that I was fighting to get back what I thought was rightfully mine. You know, I mean, I don't lose that split decision to Cruz or Sensao. I'm on a 13-fight win streak. We could be talking about me being the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. You know, and those are things you gotta swallow and just know that you're chasing your dream.
And you talk about, you know, you want to fight DJ.
Yeah.
But if he declines, if he doesn't take that fight, you're not going to give Cody the rematch. Who's up next?
We'll see what happens with Dominic Cruz and Rivera. You know, it's a tough fight. You know, I think Cruz got his hands full with that fight. But Demetrius can't run from this one. This one's too big. He broke his record. He got to pat himself and break his record. Now let's make some money. He's talking about how he wants those 7-figure fights. Well, this is it. Step up, be a man of your word, and let's get this fight going. You know, he's a very cerebral fighter. He's smart. You know, him and his coach. So I know it's a very tough fight against me.
Over here, at the end of that first round, how aware were you of the clock, and how much were you thinking about surviving that bell?
No, I wasn't. I remember hearing the 10-second before that all happened, but it wasn't like survive the round. It was just continued fight. You know, I mean, you can't think about survival. You got to fight. You know, if you're thinking about survival, you're getting finished.
It did seem like after the fight there was an incident between Cody and Dwayne. Do you have any idea what happened there at all?
No, it was my brother. My brother's in my corner, and like I said, that he's been very offended by some of the things and accusations and the way that some of my really good friends that I thought have treated me, you know. And he's an emotional guy. He loves me more than anybody I know, and he was just backing me. And all he said was, "What?" You know, and we know Cody's a hothead as well, and so he went after him, and then he had to get escorted. So escorted from MSG, you know, that's another one to put on the bucket list, I guess. Yeah, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Sitting there waiting to get raped by the press. Come on then, give it to me.
Well, Mike, I think it was a great fight tonight. I'm sure you're deflated with the loss, but overall, are you satisfied with the way you performed tonight?
I mean, I didn't win. You know, ultimately that's why we do it. George was the better man. I felt good in there. Just got clipped. That's the way it goes. You go down, he locked up. He was very strong. You know, he had a good grip. I was trying to fight his hands. You know, not a lot more you can say, really. I felt good in there. Felt like that, you know, when he took me down, I could get up when I wanted. I beat him up with some elbows off the back. I felt in control on the feet, but yeah, God bless him. Good for him. That's the way it goes.
Your pre-fight talk is always fun, but and you said he's old and slow, but I thought at least in the first round his jab was kind of quick. I mean, did that surprise you? I mean, were you a little bit surprised by the way it came out?
No, not really. I wasn't surprised. That's what I was expecting, you know. I mean, he's always had good striking. No, nothing surprised me. Nothing surprised me other than that left hook that dropped me, of course. That was a big surprise.
I see a lot of people saying, after taking that much time off, moving up a division and beating you, he deserves to be called the greatest of all time. Do you believe that?
Well, I'd say so. Yeah, good for him. You know, I mean, yeah, why not? Why not? You know, this offers a blow for me, I guess.
Hey, last thing for me, Mike. I mean, you said it right in there. You said, listen, you talked about retiring, but no, you're going to carry on. March date in London, is that appealing for you, or do you need a little time off?
No, I don't need time off. I'm fine. I've got no injuries whatsoever. You know, I'm not hurt at all. I've got a couple of little scuffs on my face, but nothing hurt me. But tonight was his night. Maybe March in London. Yeah, that sounds nice. We'll see. We'll see if I'm free. Hopefully I got a few things lined up next year. But if I'm free, why not? I'm certainly not. Everyone said to me, "Oh, you didn't tap, mate. That was great." I said, "Yeah, but I did get choked out on TV, so it's not really a good consolation prize. So I don't really want my last time in the octagon to be me getting choked out. So I'll be back in there again at some point."
Hey, Mike. George said in the cage, I don't know if you heard him, you were standing right there. He said he saw a weakness in you watching on tape, that you were vulnerable to being hit on your left side there. Is that something that you were aware of and that you had worked to try to improve, or were you surprised when you heard him say it?
No. I mean, good for him. I was confident in there. He caught me. Simple as that. It's not like I thought I had some weakness there that I was working towards. He just good shot.
You hit him with a fairly good right hand. I think it was late in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. Were you surprised how he took it? Because that's a punch from you, a guy a lot bigger that you would think might do some damage to him. Do you give him credit for a better chin than maybe you thought he had?
Oh, no. I mean, to be honest, no, he had a good chin. I always knew he had a good chin, but no, I wobbled him. He took it well. That's what you do. That's what you do when you've been around this sport this long. You know how to weather the storm. Pardon me. No. Anything?
Quick question. You looked like you were timing him really well in the second round. It also looked like he might have been slowing down a little bit. Did you feel he was getting slower? And how did you think he came back in the third?
I did, yeah. No, I felt him slowing down. Of course, he got me down in the second round. Anytime you get taken down, you want to get back up. But I was landing a lot of good elbows from underneath, and I was landing some punches from underneath. But even though I was busting him up, I was still conscious of the fact that you're losing the fight in that position. Even though I was cutting him open, I knew I was losing the fight. So I thought, right, now it's time to get back up. So I felt very positive in the fact that, of course, he got me down, but I was able to get back up in the first and in the second when I chose. So yeah, maybe that confidence was my demise, maybe, but yeah. I did feel him slowing down a little bit, yeah. I could see it on his face, certainly when he started bleeding and things like that, yeah.
Mike, this was obviously GSP's first middleweight fight. Did he feel like a middleweight in there to you?
No, yeah, he looked like one as well. He looked huge. I said going into this, I said he'd probably be the stronger man. He's one of those types of guys. He's a consummate professional. So no, he certainly felt like a middleweight when he had his arms wrapped around my neck.
Who would you like in GSP Whitaker?
What do you mean? To win?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Ooh. Of course, I'm going to say GSP, but probably not. Probably Whitaker. I'd beat GSP in a rematch, but God bless him. It's his night tonight. Good for him. I'm not taking anything away. He did well. He did great.
Hi, Michael, over here. Is there anything about George that surprised you tonight?
No, other than that left hook, no. I mean, to be honest, the fight went as I expected. I felt like I was reading him. I'm not trying to take away from him. He did fantastic. He was a better man than me tonight. He got the job done. But he wasn't really hurting me with any shots. So maybe that's why I got a bit overconfident. I know he was going to wrestle me. He didn't feel that strong. I mean, as I said, other than when he had his rear naked choke sunk in. But he didn't feel that strong. As I say, I was able to get back up pretty easily. Even in the small grappling exchanges that we had, I felt like I was, overpowering him. But nothing, no. I mean, of course I got caught, so it sounds stupid to say that. But it was the fight that I expected.
Okay, and you touched on it there. You said that you might like to headline the London show. Is there anyone in the division that you might want to fight
I
next?
don't know
There's a host of people wanting.
Yeah,
to fight you.
I don't know about headline. I don't know if you saw it. I just got choked out. So we'll see. But listen, I love doing what I do. I'm from a small town in the northwest of England. I never thought I'd be here headlining Madison Square Garden. And I'll be damned if the last time I do it is getting choked out on TV. So, it wasn't my night, but that's the way with professional sports. One man or one team win and one man or one team lose.
So, Mike, there's for a retirement fight or whatever the next fight is, there's no one that, a fantasy opponent, maybe a third fight with Luke Rockhold, settle the Seal Romero business. None of that stuff really stands out to you?
Yeah, I'll be honest. My biggest concern right now is getting to the bar before it shuts. Seriously.
Okay, well, I'll make this
I'm not
last.
thinking about my next fight. I'm thinking about the bar. When you win, you're celebrating. Everyone's always like, oh, do you go out afterwards? I'm like, yeah, of course I do, because when you win, you're celebrating. And if you lose, you're drowning your sorrows. And then you get really fucked up.
Well, last thing for me then. Now that it's over, how would you kind of summarize your title reign? Of course, you win it on short notice, you defend in Manchester, and then drop it tonight. But how will you look back on this when it's all said and done?
Feels like yesterday I was champion of the world. Listen, I'm happy. I'm proud of what I've achieved in this sport. I really am. I can't take that away from me. I mean, my kids are over there, and they just said, I thought you'd be more pissed off. And I'm like, listen, of course I'm pissed off. I'm crushed inside. I am. But also at the same time, you got to realize what's important in life. This is what I dedicate my life to, but I do it for my children. I'm hearing we did over 1 million pay-per-view buys tonight from the top people, so that's good. And that's why I do it. I do it to get paid. Now, first and foremost, I want to win. Of course I do. It's a nice little consolation prize. But to answer your question, I'm happy. I'm happy with what I've done. But yeah, I'm crushed inside. But life goes on. Life goes on. Every time you fight, one man's going to win, one man's going to lose. That's what you sign up for. You can't cry like a little bitch. I hold all respect to George. Well done. He beat me. I felt fantastic going in there tonight. I truly thought I was going to smoke him, and I didn't. So well done.
Michael, just towards the end of that last round when you're getting submitted, was there any chance of you tapping?
I don't know. He had a good squeeze. I don't think he'd give me a chance to tap. Maybe if he didn't squeeze so hard. I don't know. He lived by the sword, died by the sword, so to speak. But yeah, all right, well, that was the last question. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Go on then. Which bar? I think it's called Moxie or something. I don't know. That's my manager. We got a few free drinks lined up. So my wife's over there thinking, bloody hell, we had plans tomorrow. But babe, cancel them. I'm gonna be led in bed. Guys, thank you all. Good night.
Just in here.